these attackers is credential harvesting. So they're trying to get your passwords. What you see here is a word bubble with the most common passwords. Yes, humans like to take shortcuts, and passwords are really hard. So as you can see, based on the size of the words, those are the more popular ones. Password, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up through 7, 8, 9, because complexity requirements. QWERTY, we see a lot of repeating numbers in here, single words. We try to make passwords as easy as possible for ourselves because we don't want to forget them. The other thing that we do is we make passwords that have some kind of meaning to us. So if attackers are trying to get into your accounts, whether they are, cloud accounts or, your Salesforce or your online Microsoft or whatever, your QuickBooks, they're going to start with the most common passwords using automated tools to try to, crack into your online accounts. Or they will gather information online about you and they'll start guessing. So they'll try all kinds of different combinations of these significant details for you in every different variation that they possibly can think of to try to crack into your phones, or into your accounts. So a lot of the times with passwords, we use things like our own name or our children's name or our spouse's name or our pet's name, and then we add on some date that has significance to us, like a birthday or a birth year, an anniversary, or some other kind of meaningful number like our house street number or our phone number or something like that. We also use those for PIN numbers for types of things, or it might be, our hobbies or our favorite sports teams. We're up here in New England, so the amount of Red Sox and Patriots passwords that we see, a lot of them. And then they're also, especially at the beginning of the pandemic, it seemed like everybody on social media was bored and doing these little surveys that were like, what was the first car you drove? What high school did you go to? These little surveys that are giving away information that could potentially be your security question answers. So please be very conscious of the type of information that you're sharing on social media. The other way that attackers are going to try to crack into your accounts is by phishing you and taking you to a web page that looks like a page that you would expect, but it's not. So for example, this might have come from an email saying, Shanna, your email account has been suspended. You need to go to this website and reset your password. I click on the link. I go to a website that looks like it's a Microsoft sign-in, but as you can see at the top, it is not. It is some Google API's address. And then on the back end of this form, when I'm typing in my username and my password, the attackers are collecting it behind the scenes, and then it gets worse from there. The other place that they're going to go looking for our username and password information is in these large data breaches that we hear about. I feel like every other week we're getting these notifications from some service that we've signed up for that our username and passwords need to be changed. A lot of the time, this is a result of a data breach. This is a listing of the largest data breaches that have occurred, in recent history. And you can see the number of accounts that were compromised. On the right-hand side is the information that was stolen. Almost every single one of them, it's email and password, or username and password. So even though you may not think about your MySpace account ever, or you only set up your MyFitnessPal the one time you had that trainer who wanted you to log everything that you ate, the email and password that you used has now been compromised. And chances are, if you are like most of us who don't necessarily work in security, you probably use the same password across all of your accounts, or one of 4 different variations of that password. So this is where the domino effect comes into play. 73% of online accounts are guarded by duplicated passwords. So when that Dropbox breach occurs, the attackers go onto the dark web, they collect my username and password combination. They go and try it in Dropbox and say, oh, Shanna@company.com, password sunshine123!! And if they log in with success with that username and password, or sometimes even if they don't, they're going to start trying that on all of your other more valuable accounts. So although you haven't logged into MySpace in 2 decades, it's probably still your first pet's name and your, birthday, exclamation point for a special character. They're going to try that combination elsewhere on your email accounts, on your bank accounts, on your social media accounts. And a lot of the times they are successful with this. So just because you went in and changed your LinkedIn password that got compromised, if you're still using that for your email or your financial accounts, that's what gets us into a lot of account trouble. So we got to create really long, strong passwords. Researchers wanted to know how long it would take for attackers using these automated tools to crack our passwords based on the complexity here. We've always heard you have to have the special characters, but the biggest differentiator here is the length. So you can see, even if it's uppercase, lowercase, numbers, special characters, symbols, all that stuff, if it's a 6-character password, and even with the complexity, it can take only 13 minutes to crack that password. However, if you go down to a 15-character password, it would take 2 trillion years for an automated tool to crack that password. So length is better than complexity. A lot of people will go and create long, strong passphrases like "I love to eat donuts!" exclamation point, or "water my plants on Wednesday." You can a lot of the times even include spaces. So once we create that really long, strong 15-character password with some special characters, we're good, right? Not really, because we can't use that password across all of our different accounts. So we would have to create a 15-character password, a unique one for all of those different accounts that we're logging into.